Welcome to our July 9th work session. Appreciate you all being here today. We'll call the meeting to order. And our first item is a presentation and proclamation for Parks and Recreation Month. I will turn that over to Commissioner Gracie.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a pleasure to celebrate parks, especially the parks in Dunedin. And of course, Vince, I'm going to ask you to come forward as Director of Parks and Recreation and bring your entire glowing and hardworking staff forward, please, which is pretty much everybody in the room, right?
We have the Youth
That's
of
great.
America here today.
Well, welcome to the Youth of America.
Great.
I thought the Youth of America was in my home, but apparently it looks like they're here at City
Youth
Hall.
of the city.
Come on, Youth of America, come on.
Vince, I'll read the proclamation and then turn it over, and you probably have a whole lot of fun stuff planned for us. So, National Parks and Recreation Month, whereas we join the National Recreation and Park Association and the Florida Recreation and Park Association to recognize the month of July as Parks and Recreation Month. And whereas the definition and purpose of recreation is to refresh, restore, and make anew, and is recognized as an essential part of human life. And whereas the four pillars of the Florida Recreation and Park Association are health, environment, community building, and economic impact. And whereas Parks and Recreation experiences build healthy, active communities, aid in the prevention of chronic diseases, reduces stress, improves mental and emotional health. And whereas Parks and Recreation facilities attract new residents, businesses, and reduces crime. And whereas parks are fundamental to the environmental sustainability of our community by providing places to connect with nature, enhancing water quality, providing habitat for wildlife, and improving the air we breathe. And whereas our Parks and Recreation system is vitally important to the quality of life in Dunedin, providing opportunities for people to come together as a community, transforming strangers into neighbors. And whereas every day dozens of kids across the state of Florida are taken to a foster home with only a few items, many times thrown into only a trash bag. And whereas in celebration of Parks and Recreation Month, the Dunedin Parks and Recreation Department and the Youth Advisory Committee are collecting new backpacks, duffel bags, and small rolling suitcases for buddy bags to ensure that every child can get in the game and play alongside their peers. And now, therefore, I, Heather Gracie, by the virtue of the authority vested in our mayor of the city of Dunedin, Florida, and on behalf of the entire city commission, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2019 as Parks and Recreation Month in Dunedin, and encourage everyone to join the Youth Advisory Committee in their buddy bag drive to help support the foster children in our community. Building a healthy community, because it starts in parks.
This is absolutely my favorite proclamation of the year. And with the Buddy Bag program, it's even more favorite for me. Health, environment, community building, and economic impact. Those are the pillars that we work off of. That's what we do. I really want to truly thank the City Commission, the Mayor and the City Commissioners for the proclamation and for your moral support, your financial support, and preserving the quality of life in our great city. I'd also like to thank our Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for their advice, feedback, and for providing all the input they do at our monthly meetings. Tom Mahoney is here, our chair, who in a few minutes would like to say a few words as well. I'd like to thank all of our volunteers. That we just couldn't do without them, and there are hundreds of volunteers, including our Youth Advisory Committee. Our partners, such as the Dunedin Little League, Sterling Soccer, Youth Sailing Clubs, Achieva Credit Union for working with us so closely on our poor park that we built this past year. And of course, I was at a late meeting last night with the Friends of Hammock, so I added that to my list as well. But we also have 30, 40 partners that we work with to help us provide quality recreation programs in our city. Our sponsors, such as Coca-Cola for the Weaver Sunset Series, Achieva Credit Union again for sponsoring the holiday parade, Dex Imaging sponsoring Old Fashioned Christmas, And most of all, I'd like to thank our dedicated staff who work endless hours, nights and weekends, and engage our community in programming, events, and quality parks. So with that, again, thank you for the proclamation, and I'm going to just ask Tom if you'd like to come up, our Chair of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, and say a few words.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think Vince thanked everybody but himself, so that's my job. I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate the Parks and Recreation Department on the amazing job they do in providing programs and services to the residents of Dunedin. I've lived in Dunedin for the past 30 years and been in the Parks and Advisory Committee for the past 5. And as a resident, I'm grateful for the services and programs that the Parks and Recreation Department provides to us, and the quality of services from after-school programs to wellness programs to social events. Dunedin has become a great place to live and to visit in large part because of the Parks and Recreation Department, and due to the support of this staff, this body, we're able to provide the best services in the Tampa area. It's been my privilege to work with Vince and his staff, and I believe we're fortunate to have them working on our behalf to provide the best current services and to provide services from now into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
And now we have a special presentation from our Youth Advisory Committee. And first we are going to show a video, then we're going to talk a little about an initiative that they've started.
Okay.
With that.
Hey buddy, we need a 4th player. Wanna come play with us? No thanks.
I wonder why she didn't want to come play with us.
And why is she carrying around a garbage bag?
I heard her talking at school yesterday. She had to go to a foster home last night and she only had enough time to grab a few things.
But why is she carrying a trash bag?
That's all she could find as she was packing.
Wow, that's gotta be so scary going to a strange home. I can't imagine if that was me. Just think if that was any of us.
You're right. Every kid that goes to a foster home should have at least one bag to call their own.
What if we started a bag drive for foster kids?
Yeah.
Come in.
Miss Emily, the Youth Advisory Committee came up with an idea.
We want to start collecting bags for kids.
What if we put boxes at all the rec centers for everyone to donate their stuff?
That sounds like a great idea.
Look at all of the donations.
This is awesome.
Let's put the bags together. Hey, come here. We've got something for you.
Oh my God, you guys. This is awesome. But why did you do this?
Because you're our buddy.
Wanna come play with us?
Yeah. While this wasn't a real scene, it very well could have been.
Every day, dozens of kids across the state of Florida have to leave their home.
And many times they are taken to a home with no belongings or only a few items thrown in a trash bag.
The Dunedin Youth Advisory Committee started collecting donations for Buddy Bag.
We've collected basic clothing, toiletries, and toys, but now we need bags to put them in.
We need new large backpacks, duffel bags, or small rolling suitcases.
Donations are being accepted through the month of July in celebration of Parks and Recreation Month.
Or join us on August 8th at 6 p.m. at the MLK Junior Recreation Center as we stuff the bags for the kids of our community.
Thank you for helping the Dunedin Parks and Recreation Department and the Youth Advisory Committee ensure that every child is able to get in the game.
I'm just so proud of this committee for putting this video together and going out and doing this initiative, which they're already finding lots of success with. So with that, I'm going to introduce or have Jocelyn Broadhead, our Recreation Program Coordinator, and Emily Hoban, our Recreation Leader 3, come up, and I believe some of the advisory members are going to speak also.
Good morning. Good morning. We are very proud to have some of our youth advisory members present with us, as well as one of our commercial actors. They are a very powerful example of youth helping youth, and I think that they'll be a great inspiration to us throughout this drive. Emily is going to introduce them so that they can share some foster care facts as well as more program details.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm super excited to just give these guys a little bit of recognition because they do volunteer at so many of our events. And for them to come up with this idea and really put it together and see the positive impact it's already having, and just raising the donations, we're really excited to see it follow through. So I have Jesse Marsh, Jacqueline Ellison, Olivia Ondash, James Poplar, Lafayette Renfro, and Chloe Kroos. And they're gonna share some facts with you guys.
Good morning. So kids in foster care, just like us, they are learning and growing, like to hang out with friends their age, and need love and stability a permanent home provides. They have the same needs, dreams, and unique potential as all children and seek the same opportunities that all kids equally deserve to build a bright and promising future for their own well-being and to be responsible and contributing members of their community. For foster youth, demonstrate incredible resilience as they navigate their experience in foster care.
According to childrenrightsact.org, there are nearly 443,000 children in foster care on any given day in the United States. In 2017, more than 690 children spent time in U.S. foster care.
Foster care children range in age from infants to 21 years old in some states. The average age of a child in foster care is 8 years old, and there are slightly more boys than girls. 48% were living in non-related foster homes with strangers, and only 26% were being cared for by a relative foster home.
Federal law requires that all children have a permanency goal. That is, there must be a clearly defined plan for the child to safely leave foster care. The initial goal for almost all children who enter the system is to eventually return to their birth parents' care. Approximately 65% of children who enter foster care will be reunited with their parents or primary caregivers, and nearly 1/4 will be adopted, many by their foster parents.
The average amount of time that a child spends in a foster care is just over a year. 7% of foster children stay in the system 5 years or more. 25% of the foster's youth switch homes 5 or more times before their 18th birthday. While most children in the foster care and live in family settings, a substantial minority, 11%, live in situations or groups homes.
We really wanted to help when we learned facts like these about foster care. So, this past February, we started a service project called Buddy Bags to collect personal care items like pajamas, socks, toiletries, journals, and blankets for kids in foster care. We had so much support from the community. Now we need bags to help donate the items. Here are the examples of the types of bags that can be donated. Bags can be dropped off at the following locations: Dunedin Community Center, Hale Senior Activity Center, Highlander Pool, MLK Junior Recreational Center.
Very good.
I just thought this was most appropriate during Parks and Recreation Month. Recreation is we're all things to all people, and this committee just did an outstanding job, and I think they're really close to reaching their goal, but that's okay. We can exceed our goal and have as many as we need for the children in foster care that need the bags. I also want to thank some of our staff, Jocelyn, Emily, Nicole, and Laney for putting the video together. Also, Terry, our division director for Parks and Recreation, and most of all, the Youth Advisory Committee for the production of the video this morning and for providing the bags for the children that need them most. So, thank you for allowing us this time.
Thank you, guys.
was some amazing acting there too, guys. Really.
Great job, and thank you for coming up with the idea. Good job.